Hello everybody, my name is Bloody Elevator, and welcome back to Spire Knights. We have managed to complete another month of consistent uploading since this YouTube channel was revived, which means that another review for this channel is due. And as usual, the video in the background might not have anything to do with what I'm talking about. I mean, I might talk about Spire Knights for a little bit, but it is a fun way for me to have something happening in the background while I ramble on about stuff related to this channel. But seriously though, we managed to reach an awesome milestone where we managed to keep up a frequent and consistent upload schedule for a whole 3 months. Also, we managed to reach 100 plus subscribers. And a celebration video for that is long overdue. It might not sound that amazing, but as someone who hasn't always had the best luck in seeing things through to the very end, I'm quite happy with how this channel evolved since the first upload after shelving this channel for quite a few years. Now I'd say that we've improved quite a bit since our last channel review. Now I have noticed fewer audio issues than usual compared to the earlier uploads, but there's still the occasional audio interference that is kind of out of my control, usually from background noises like noisy cars that are driving nearby, or maybe neighbors that just happen to be doing lawn maintenance around the time that I do these recordings, and other stuff like that. But thankfully, I'm now at least able to fix most audio interference issues with some sort of workaround during the editing process. Also, I think I'm starting to get a better idea on how to properly space myself at more or less the correct distance of where I should be from my microphone, as I have noticed fewer sharp S sounds in these videos, which is a good thing, but it still does happen every now and then. But now I think there might be times where I might be leaning just a bit too far back, possibly causing the sound to sound just a bit off. I am actively looking out for these sorts of things because I do worry about that, as I make videos for this channel just for fun. Working on YouTube videos is an interesting hobby that I managed to pick up again somewhat recently. I did mention it before in one of my previous channel reviews, but I started doing this to help me de-stress from everyday life. That's because before I started getting back into this, it was the regular old struggle of balancing between everyday life and whatever it is that I do to try to relax, like the occasional gaming, or watching stuff on YouTube. I'm pretty sure before this, I was making myself play video games just to work towards completing my backlog of games that I wanted to play back then, rather than playing them for fun. As it's possible to say that I was quite anxious about some personal issues before I revived this YouTube channel. And looking back at some of the first few videos that I uploaded on this channel, I feel like it really does show what the state of my physical and mental well-being was during the first couple of weeks of getting back into this hobby of uploading videos on YouTube. And thinking back to it, I must have been quite stressed or something alike, because I don't think I sounded happy in my first few videos at all. Not only that, I think I was also having issues with keeping up with a consistent sleeping schedule as well, because there were moments where I just felt like my head just would not be quiet and let me sleep. But after getting back into YouTube and constantly uploading some videos as a hobby, I feel like it has been easier for me to go to sleep once I started doing this routinely, as I guess giving myself something to work on, like editing videos and getting back into some old video games that I enjoyed playing a while back. I didn't plan on focusing on Spire Knights, it was just something that I played a few years back and dropped it a couple times later on. Then I saw Spire Knights again on Steam while looking for a new game to play for this channel back then. And then I thought that I'd pick it up again to fight some bosses and probably call it a day for the game after that, and then move on to some other games. But when I received even just the littlest bit of feedback, I thought, why not? Let's get back into this game. Now when I said that I was getting back into Spider Knights, I never meant like I was some sort of expert pro that knew this game inside and out. The first time I got into Spider Knights was back in 2011 to 2012 when I saw it on Steam because a friend of mine talked me into creating a Steam account to play a Steam game with them. But my computer back then was some sort of standard office computer that couldn't even handle the most basic of games. So there wasn't really much that I could do with that computer. And back then, the list of free games on Steam was kind of limited, compared to today's free games list on Steam, of course. And after sifting through enough games, I found Spider Knights, which looked interesting to me at the time. I downloaded it and played it on Steam, created my character and whatnot, and it was kind of fun. But that was like way back then, when Mist Energy was a thing, and how you would need energy to do everything in the game, like go to the next level, crafting weapons, and so on. Now the energy system back then replenished itself by like 1 for every 10ish minutes around there. And the me back then could not afford to spend money on a game like that. So I just used the free 100 energy maximum that you get each day. And I remember waiting on the lift to get to the next level, but I was short like 1 or 2 energy, so I would have to wait for quite a while to get to the next level. And the game was quite different compared to now. Back then when there wasn't any pets, or rank missions, or Hall of Heroes, or any other stuff like that. Then eventually I got tired of having to wait to play a video game, so I dropped it. And then fast forward like 2 or 3 years later, where I pick it up again, I deleted my old character, created a new one, named it Bloody Elevator, same as this channel's name, and experienced more or less the Spider Knights that we know now. And over time, I did the occasional Shadow Lair. I got my Snarbullocks cap and coat. I farmed Krogmos, at least up to like 300, to get my voltage that I wanted. And then slowly the friends that I made on Spider Knights eventually stopped logging in. And I played less and less of it as time went on, while I got more and more busy with personal stuff in real life. Until I eventually dropped the game again, altogether. And I think some point after that, I did start working towards making some YouTube gaming videos, and the occasional streaming on Twitch, as well as uploading some clips from my streams on Twitch onto this YouTube channel. And then I think I probably got bored of it and realized that the stuff that I made was probably not that interesting or not funny at all, and wound up deleting them all, because I wasn't interested in doing that anymore. And then fast forward up to now, about 3 months ago, where I had just gotten home from doing whatever it was that I was supposed to be doing, and I was feeling a bit stressed and anxious about personal stuff. And then I think I tried to de-stress by playing video games or watching YouTube videos, but I guess it wasn't having as much of an effect as usual. And I tried asking a friend in real life on what I should do, and essentially they suggested that I try to do something to get the creative part of my head working, like drawing, painting, or any other stuff like that. And then I remembered I had a small YouTube channel from way back then, and thought, maybe getting back into making YouTube videos might help me de-stress a bit from everyday life, even if it helps just a little bit. The first few videos on this channel were not meant to be funny or interesting. I just wanted to say or do something to help myself unwind, even if the quality of those videos might not be on par with how they are now. Even then, I'm still going to be keeping the older, not as good videos up, so that I have something as a reference that I know that I can grow from. And slowly, we are growing something awesome out of this channel. It might not be the best, for now, but in the end, I make videos for fun, as a hobby, because I think the me who I was back then, and kind of still am, really needed a hobby to help me lighten up. I did not plan on anyone actually liking the stuff that I make, but if I make at least one person laugh or react in some way in what I do, even if it's just for a little bit, then that is fantastic. It wasn't the goal because I make these videos for fun, as I'm happy with what we got so far, and I'm still committed to doing this for quite some time. And with that said, that's all I have to share with you for now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.